Hello and welcome to Think Watercolour. I was driving down a country lane the other day. I was stuck behind a tractor, and as I glanced to the right through a gap in the hedge, I saw this field with this lone tree in the middle of the field. And it occurred to me that this will make a good subject for a quick demonstration of how you can turn even the simplest of subjects into something more interesting. I couldn't take a photograph because I was driving at the time, so as soon as I got back to my studio, I sat down and made this quick 15-minute sketch of the subject I had in my head. So let me show you how I did it. I started off by quickly sketching the idea on a sheet of Saunders Waterford 300-gram rough paper, positioning the tree 1/3 to the right, and in the foreground there's a gap in the hedge and an old broken stile. And I painted the sky and the underpainting for the field first. For the sky, I used ultramarine and burnt sienna to create a bluey-grey overcast sky. And for the underpainting for the field, I used mostly yellow ochre. I lifted out some of the colour to create some clouds and lifted out an area where the leaves of the tree are going to be. And in the foreground, just loosely use the dry brush technique to create some texture and suggest some puddles. Once the underpainting was dry, I started painting the hedge at the back of the field using a mixture of jadeite green and sap green. Just using the side of the brush just to pick up the texture of the paper to create some gaps so that a little bit of the sky is showing through in areas, and then darkening the base, which will be in shadow. Then I added some pyrrole orange just to suggest that the leaves are turning to autumn colours. Autumn's quite late in the UK, or certainly in my part of the UK at the moment, so the leaves are only just turning, and this is just some lemon yellow. All these colours are going to dry a little bit flatter, so they'll look more autumnal than they do when you first put them down. Using the same colours for the tree, just starting with the yellow. Just again using the side of the brush, picking up the tooth of the paper, leaving gaps so that the background can show through a little bit. I'll be darkening this up a little bit towards the end of the painting, but I just wanted to get some shapes of leaves, some clumps of leaves down as soon as possible. This is the jadeite green and sap green mix, and just dabbing in some pyrrole orange as well. Just they'll all blend together because they're all wet, and it'll just suggest leaves turning to autumn colours. For the second wash on the field, I'm just using the side of a brush and some Van Dyke brown, fairly light mix of Van Dyke brown, just to suggest patches where the soil's been trodden down by cows grazing, etc. And for the hedge to the left of the painting, I've just darkened the green mix with a little bit of neutral tint, and just again using the side of the brush to create some texture, not being too specific about detail. It's a very loose sketch, this, just to get the idea down on paper while it's still in my head. Just using a rigger there to just have some branches sticking out above the hedge. And then I'm just adding some darker Van Dyke brown, and using the same mix of Van Dyke brown with a touch of neutral tint for the trunk of the tree and some of the branches. It's silhouetted against the dark overcast sky, so it'd be quite a dark tree. And underneath the tree, I'm just using the side of the brush just to put in some dark green where it's in shade and there's grass growing under the tree. For the broken stile, I'm just using some neutral tint. Nothing too specific, just the hint of what's there, and the angle of it helps to lead the eye across the painting towards the tree. It's all about creating movement for the eye when you're doing a sketch like this. Just try and make sure that when it's finished, the viewer's eye will be able to travel around the painting. Just adding a bit more texture in the foreground there, in that gap in the hedge. And putting darker shadows on the tree now that it's dry. Just helps to add volume to the tree, makes it look a little bit more realistic. Just spattering some colour, some yellow, some pearl orange and some Van Dyke brown. Cover the rest of the painting with a sheet of kitchen towel, and it just helps to keep the spattering in the area that you want it. Just adds a little bit of movement to the painting. For this top right hand corner of the field, I just wanted to have a little bit of focus. I've put some fairly raw yellow ochre there, using the side of the brush, trying to add some texture to take the eye across the painting to the right. And final touch, put a few birds in the sky on the left of the painting, and that will lead the eye around the tree. And I think I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this demonstration useful. If you did, do give it a like. It's always a good idea to get a sketch down on paper as soon as you can, and this demonstration really was to show what you can do with a very simple subject to make it a pleasing sketch. Do subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and hit the notification bell for future videos, and thanks again for watching.